This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for April 6, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, police searching for suspects in Wednesday's beryllium attack in St. Elizabeth. The police are searching for the suspects involved in Wednesday's gun attack on an armored vehicle belonging to Guardman Group's beryllium security company in Balaclava, St. Elizabeth. The security guards were en route to the Hillcrest Western Union outlet in Balaclava to make a cash drop-off about 1:40 p.m. when, upon reaching a deep bend along the Boog Hill Main Road, they observed a white Toyota motor car parked along the roadway. The car started driving out towards the center of the road as the armored vehicle approached. The driver of the armored vehicle became suspicious and sped up, at which point 3 men armed with handguns alighted from the car and started firing at the beryllium vehicle. The security guards drove to the Silo police station where a report was made. They escaped being wounded. Wednesday's attack was the third such on an armored vehicle belonging to Beryllium Security Company in recent weeks. Clarendon man charged for allegedly stabbing brother to death. A man has been charged with the murder of his brother, who he reportedly stabbed multiple times during a dispute in Ebony Park housing scheme in Clarendon on Tuesday. Dead is Anthony Smichael, otherwise called Pops, of an Ebony Park housing scheme address. Charged is 39-year-old Jermaine Smichael, otherwise called Chin Chin, a laborer of the same address. Reports from the Maypen police are that about 5:30 p.m., the brothers had a dispute when a knife was brought into play and Jermaine reportedly stabbed Anthony multiple times. The police were summoned and Anthony was assisted to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Jermaine was arrested and charged. A court date is being finalized. 2 men charged with 18-year-old Hanover woman's death. Detectives have charged the 2 men who were taken into custody last Friday with the murder of 18-year-old Tessia Hall, whose decomposing body was found in Marchtown, Green Island in Hanover. Charged are 23-year-old Romaine Vassell, otherwise called the Twin, and the 21-year-old Anthony Salmon, otherwise called the Brown Man, both of Marchtown addresses. Police launched an investigation into Hall's disappearance after she was reported missing since Saturday, March 25. On March 31, lawmen who were reportedly acting on information went to a cane field in the community where they found Hall's decomposing body. Vassell and someone were subsequently arrested and interviewed by the police. Investigators have reported that they are awaiting the post-mortem results to determine the cause of Hall's death. Man killed during reported confrontation with the police in St. James. 1 man is dead after he was shot during a reported confrontation with members of the security forces in Salt Springs, St. James yesterday afternoon. The identity of the deceased has not been released. Reports are that sometime around 1:30, a police and military team was on operation in the area when they were confronted by gunmen. When the shooting ended, the man was seen suffering from bullet wounds. 2 guns were recovered by the security team. Indicom has launched a probe into the shooting. Police report progress in efforts to crack down on extortion. The police high command says it is making progress in cracking down on the multi-million-dollar extortion racket by organized criminal networks. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson told a press briefing on Tuesday that police have been successful in dismantling a number of criminal gangs over the past 2 years. Speaking with the news, head of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, reiterated that criminals are turning to other sources of funding due to the crackdown on extortion. In the meantime, the police high command says the level of violence in the country has given the impression that the number of murders and the shootings recorded so far this year are higher than last year. Senior Superintendent Lindsay says the multiple incidents of murders and the shootings to which the public has been exposed do not translate to an increase in those categories of crime.
To break the back of extortion, the police, we are ready and available and willing to break the back of extortion. But then for the most part, it will require more support from the victim and the persons who are being extorted. Because even though you get information and they talk about extortion, when you look at the reports that are made, you don't get a lot of reports. And there are instances when police will pick up through our intelligence network that persons are being extorted. But when you approach the individuals, they will tell you, no, it's not happening. We have significantly impacted the extortion network by criminal gangs in a significant way. And that is why now you see that source of funding is leaving them. So they are turning to other things like robbery, targeting financial institutions, targeting businesses that handle large portions of cash.
Judge concerned about murder accused the ID parade. The court has ordered for checks to be made into the identification parade process in the case of an accused held in relation to a deadly shooting in Norwood, St. James on November 16, 2022. Presiding Parish Judge Sasha Marie Ashley made the order in the St. James Parish Court on Tuesday during a bail application by attorney Martin Thomas on behalf of his client Shandy Brown. Brown is charged with the murders of 31-year-old shopkeeper Delano Christie and the 26-year-old Jardine Brown. Thomas argued that the process under which his client was made to undergo an identification parade was marred by a witness's failure to identify the defendant. We submit that the identification evidence is poor, as the attacker on the day of the incident was masked. The witness visited the police station when an identification parade was arranged for Mr. Brown on February 1. He viewed the men for 2 minutes and then he paused to say he was unable to identify anyone, Thomas told Judge Ashley. Based on what took place on February 1, we objected to any formal parade being done. The accused man on the second attempt to do the parade said he would not do the parade because he has been exposed, and we are contending that the process employed re his identification is unfair, Thomas added, noting that his client has no previous gang affiliations. In response, Judge Ashley noted that the reliability of the identification process has been called into question and must be resolved because of what appears to be inconsistencies in the police report before the court. If it is that the police sergeant's statement following the identification parade is in line with the police report, which is diametrically opposed to what the witness on the parade had said, it has to be addressed at the highest level. The integrity of the process has to be preserved, said Ashley. Brown was subsequently offered bail in the sum of $800,000 with 2 sureties. He has been given reporting conditions and is to relocate from St. James. His case will again be mentioned on May 8. The allegations are that at about 8:15 p.m. on the day in question, patrons were at a shop operated by Christie along Hacker Street in Norwood when 2 armed men approached them and opened gunfire before fleeing the area on foot. Christie, Brown, and 4 other persons, including Christie's 9-month-old daughter, were shot. The injured persons were taken to the hospital, where Christie and Brown were pronounced dead. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.